getting quiet. I think that's the universal sign to begin. Good afternoon and welcome to our annual College Scholars Courting Ceremony. I am pleased and grateful that you have joined us here today for this culminating event of our honors program. The College Scholars Class of 2023 is the 39th graduating class of the College Scholars at North Central, and this is the 26th annual courting event. Each courting ceremony is special for the graduates and their families, but this year is particularly special for the class of 2023 as it's been a wild ride together. For those of you who joined the program as first-year students in the fall of 2019, I remember emailing you on Friday, March 13th, 2020, with plans for the remainder of our first-year Honors 100 seminar courses, Honors Conversations, which were shifting online that weekend. It was an unsettling time that required tenacity on your part to get through that semester and then stick with the honors program. And it's taken a fair amount of grace on the part of faculty and staff and students to work together as we navigated some unique circumstances for your cohort. Since March of 2020, we have had some wonderful transfer students join our College Scholars community as well. And together, you have worked through delayed study abroad plans and masked classrooms and revised data collection strategies. While the College Scholars motto is excellence through community, it's been interesting within the constraints of the pandemic to do community well. But you have endured. And thankfully, we have been able to learn and celebrate in community again in all sorts of ways this academic year. College Scholars Class of 2023, it has been a joy to watch each one of you navigate your scholarly journey. Thank you for inviting us to join you along the way, and please keep doing so. We can't wait to hear about where life takes you, and we hope that you will connect with us on social media, come over to Ward Hall when you're in town, and visit with us at College Scholars alumni events to let us know what you're doing and where life takes you. Friends and family, members of the graduates, thank you for sharing your scholars with us. I hope you have a fantastic weekend celebrating them and their many accomplishments. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Nick Boas, Director of the College Scholars Honors Program.
Good afternoon. What makes the honors program at North Central College so special is that each student's journey through it reflects their own scholarly and their own personal journey. The College Scholars Class of 2023 represents 9 different academic departments from across the college, and the substance of what they studied in their thesis projects reflects that diversity. I was impressed with how many of y'all incorporated your desire to create a better world into your thesis research. This year, we had students work to create applications for greater accessibility in areas of places like public transport and language translation. Other students sought to study democracy and justice through the lens of gender, voting, and election models. Finally, we had several students focus on equity in education by examining principles of universal design, bullying, and burnout. In the classroom, you brought your unique disciplinary perspectives to honors seminars, and last month, you presented your theses publicly at the Rawl Symposium. Here you demonstrated your growth as both creative and critical thinkers. Today, you will share in that tradition with our Golden Chords. A significant part of what makes each College Scholars experience so unique is the incredible guidance, feedback, time, and energy, as well as the encouragement of the faculty theses directors who are seated behind me today. Graduates, I invite you as a group to collectively thank your advisors right now for all of their support and encouragement throughout the thesis process. Let's give them a round of applause. So before we begin our courting, I'd like all of our College Scholars guests and loved ones to please stand if you're able and to be recognized for your support in bringing this day and the entire graduation weekend to fruition. Your efforts on behalf of all of the graduates have impacted all of us. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody. I'd also like all who have served as second readers and as librarians on a thesis this year to be recognized. Thank you so much for your extensive work with our students and for being so generous with your time and your feedback. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Additionally, I would like to thank Ms. Amy Smith, Ms. Brittany Benson, Ms. Mary Reynolds, and Ms. Laura Kendall Zimmerman, and Ms. Becca Rimkus for your hard work in planning this event and other honors events throughout the year. You helped our students in numerous ways as they moved through their participation in the honors program towards today and Sunday's graduation. Your contributions make the honors program what it is today, and for that, I am incredibly grateful for you guys. Let's give them a round of applause. It's now my pleasure to begin the courting ceremony by inviting each of our theses directors to present their students with the Gold College Scholars Graduation Cord and to offer them a few congratulatory remarks. With our first courting, I'd like to invite Dr. Hale Akinze to come up and talk about the theses that you've supervised.
Thank you. Okay. Kristen, your project designing a user-centric public transportation app for Chicago suburban trains is well-researched, superbly executed, and offers solutions to our local problems. As a regular Metro rider, I am impressed with the modern app you created that addresses all the needs of a user and goes even further by including vital new features like displaying accessibility options and eco-friendly trains. Students like you give me hope for our future. Besides all the qualities of an honors student, such as hardworking, inquisitive, organized, etc., what I love most about you is your positive attitude. Every week, I knew I would see a big smile, excited to fix the shortcomings of a frustrating system. You embraced every opportunity with willingness, a dream quality for a mentor. I told you about Anchor. You went, oh, that sounds fun, I'll do it. How about a Richter grant? No problem, I got it. Can you share your experience with the department students? You go, I don't like public speaking, but sure, okay. I hope I came up with enough things for you to conquer because you sure made it seem easy. Kristen, I will miss working with you, and every time I'm on the train, I will think about how much better my life would be with your app. Now go make Metro implement your design, please. And I know you do great things, and I wish you all the best.
Hello, I'm here to talk about Eve Sinkar. I met Eve a couple of years ago when she took my research design class, and she was one of the strongest students in this class with an ease of understanding complicated concepts and scenarios that is quite frankly most often seen at grad school levels, and I told her that several times. But most importantly, she had those qualities that truly bring joy to a professor's heart: curiosity and fearlessness in asking questions. Her broader interest in social justice was a good match for my research on jury decisions in cases involving police use of force. After working in my lab for a year and presenting research at 2 conferences last year, Eve developed her own independent research project as her honors thesis. She was intrigued by the special status that police officers and Army veterans seem to hold in our society, trusted and respected by some, reviled by others. When they break the law, people who hold these roles of police officer or Army vet are often judged by different standards, sometimes more leniently, sometimes more harshly than civilians. Yet we have no systematic research directly comparing legal judgments in an identical case where the only thing that differs is the profession of the defendant. Enter Eve and her research idea. Her experimental approach to this important question was to design a mock jury study in which participants were told to take on the roles of jurors. They read detailed descriptions and trial transcripts from a sexual assault case, all of that created by Eve, and made verdict decisions at the end. But, and here's the catch, the experimental catch, a third of the participants were told that the defendant was a police officer, a third were told that he was an army vet, and a third were told that he was an auto mechanic, a civilian. So any differences in jurors' judgments because of her design, because of the clever way in which she manipulated this factor, could be directly attributed to the role of the defendant, because everything else was identical except for their profession. As Eve prepared her literature review, her hypotheses, her materials for the study, I was continually impressed with her passion, her work ethic, and her ability to troubleshoot and problem solve. She had an uncanny ability to see the big picture while at the same time paying attention to every detail. Truly, her work was exceptional, and you don't have to take my word for it. It was recognized as such with a $1,000 grant from the Psych-I Honor Society in Psychology, as well as a regional undergraduate research award at the recent Midwestern Psychological Association, where she presented her thesis 2 weeks ago, in addition to presenting it at Roll. The grant allowed her to collect data from an online national sample, meaning that her results are more representative of the true population. During this past year, Eve and I had to work remotely. We actually only saw each other in person a couple of weeks ago at Roll. She designed and prepped her study while she was studying abroad in England and came back to an advisor on maternity leave. We had so many Zoom meetings, shared screens, and email conversations, and without Eve's incredible ability to work independently, figure things out, and stay focused and motivated, this would have been a much harder ride. Eve, your dedication, your deep sense of right and wrong, your intelligence and grace are a true inspiration for me. I am so grateful that I got to know you as a person and as a scholar, and I cannot wait to see what you will do next. I know it will be amazing.
So Sarah spent the last year researching the challenges facing young designers. Her thesis, titled Visualizing Modern Design Problems, explores everything from the emergence of OpenAI-produced images to copyright infringement. Sarah focused her research on pressing issues affecting all of us. She asked a fundamental question: how does one continue to be an ethical designer in a rapidly changing landscape? This project took her on an unexpected journey filled with challenges, insights, and ultimately a stronger connection to others in the field, which I would say is the most important part of Sarah's design practice. She has spent the last 4 years building and strengthening our North Central community through her mentorship of other students and her relentless work at cultivating supportive classroom environments like the design agency, Graphic Design Practicum. In this regard, she has been an integral student leader in our department, and our department would not be what it is without people like Sarah. I've gotten to witness her growth over the last 4 years, and it's been inspiring. Thank you, Sarah, for always expanding the scope of the conversations you were a part of, and for making our department a more exciting place to be. You were kind, you were thoughtful, and I have no doubt that you will continue to be a creative force for change wherever you go. Congrats.
If you were to Google looking for quotes about good teachers, caring teachers, teachers who make a difference, you'd likely find hundreds of thousands, if not millions of hits. Things like teachers make a difference, or a teacher's influence extends well beyond the classroom. No matter which you'd choose to read, you'd likely be reading about Avalon Dufkus. Avalon has the heart of a truly caring teacher. And in her senior honors thesis, she chose to take that ethic of care and apply it in the classroom. Avalon studied how a focused set of lessons on empathy affected fourth graders' ideas of bullying. In short, she discovered that 3 short lessons don't actually make much of a difference. That in order to have an empathetic effect on bullying, there's a lot more that children need to learn. But finding this out doesn't mean that Avalon's research was in vain. Rather, it means that Avalon will be the kind of teacher who provides more than just 3 simple lessons on empathy. She will help to curb bullying on the playground and in the school classroom where she's teaching. You also need to know about Avalon's perseverance. She had plans to finish this project by the end of fall semester. That didn't happen. So Avalon had to take on the finalizing of her thesis in the midst of what is arguably the most high-stakes semester of any teacher education student's college career, the semester in which she did her student teaching. For those unfamiliar, student teaching is, as I have often said, all day, every day, 5 days a week, on the same calendar, on the same time clock as the regular teacher in that building for 15 weeks. Student teachers plan, teach, and grade the full daily schedule of a classroom mentor teacher with whom they are working. Not only did Avalon do all of this, she finished her thesis. That's quite an accomplishment for a young teacher, and I'm extremely proud of all that she's accomplished. Congratulations, Avalon.
I'm delighted to be able to celebrate Jeffrey's accomplishments today, and we'll begin by sharing the comments of his primary professor, Dr. Azerbad, who is unable to be here today. So these are her words, and then I'll add some of my own. Jeffrey is a special person. He has a unique way of creating a sense of calm for everyone around him and isn't afraid of shifting his path to pursue his passions. Jeffrey initially started his undergraduate career as a chemical engineering major at another university. He transferred to North Central in 2021, where he changed his major to psychology. He is passionate about yoga and meditation. It's no surprise then that for his honors thesis, he wanted to explore how people responded differently to meditating alone compared to meditating as part of a group. Jeffrey designed a creative study where he brought participants into the lab and had them complete a mindful breathing exercise either solo or with others. He found that both conditions led to reductions in anxiety and improvements in social connectedness and positive emotions. Jeffrey's research will help inform his own future work as he undergoes teacher training to become a certified yoga instructor. He plans on a future career in mental health where I know his clients will benefit from his patient, grounded, calm presence. Jeffrey, Dr. Azerbad writes, "She is so proud of you and your hard work, and she can't wait to see what adventures you will pursue next." I will just add my comments as second reader, but also as a professor that Jeffrey had last spring in a class, an honor seminar, called Yoga on and Off the Mat, where we looked at all of the physical aspects of yoga and alignment, but the fundamental principles, the ethical principles, and how to apply that to your life as a college student and beyond. Jeffrey was like having a graduate student in the class. He had already come with some awareness, he'd come with some experience and some interest, but really it was through our study that he was able to integrate these and think about where it would take him. We had many after-class discussions about ideas and techniques, and his final project on yoga and meditation became a seed for his thesis, for which I was happy to be second reader. I'm excited that Jeffrey will begin his formal teacher training this fall through Prairie Yoga Institute, where I have received both of my teacher certifications, and I know he will bring wellness and light to those fortunate to be in his path. Congratulations and namaste, Jeffrey.
So Molly completed one of the most ambitious thesis projects I've ever seen. She wrote and illustrated the first installment of a graphic novel titled The Seven Saints, an exploration of morality through text, image, and retired superheroes. Funny story, when I first met with Molly to talk about the thesis, I asked, "What are you thinking about working on?" She says, "I want to make a full graphic novel." And with some skepticism, I was like, "Have you ever done that before?" Without skipping a beat, She said, nope, but I'll figure it out. And sure enough, she did. The first installment, she fully illustrated 39 pages. Her work is filled with interest in American militarism and its global implications, to the cultural impact of comic books like The Watchmen and Captain America. Her thesis was conceptualized during the height of the pandemic. When everyone was trying to make sense of what was happening, Molly decided to mine the past for insights. Her research led her to the Vietnam War and the advertising of the 70s and 80s. Molly's work meets this moment by connecting younger generations to the past through in-depth research and a facility with the medium. Her project is powerful and poignant in a time of uncertainty. I can only imagine the other stories that she will tell in the future. Whatever they may be, I'm sure they will be wonderful. Molly, congratulations, and continue to make great art.
We can put mixed messages, that's all.
We can do them all at once. No, it's okay. All right. Good afternoon. It is my honor to present these chords to Kylie Fry, who is graduating with a major in psychology and minors in sociology and dance. In addition to being part of the honors program, she's been an active member of the Cardinal Dance Company. Kylie completed her honors thesis entitled Blossoming to Burnout, an analysis of how higher achieving college students experience stress. And I think this is a topic that is certainly meaningful to this audience. While stress can definitely motivate us to push past possible, it can also be debilitating. And the goal is to find those balance points, right? And to do that, we need to develop an understanding of the messages that we hear about what it means to achieve and how those messages are internalized. Kylie captured these messages in her work by thoughtfully centering the voice of her participants and using the lens of her own lived experiences to guide the analysis and interpretation. Kylie, I wish I could tell you that stress is going to end after graduation. But I believe you're going to take your abilities to connect with other people's stories and to carefully examine the factors that shape our responses to the world around us in your next steps. It has been an incredible pleasure to work with you over this past year. You always made the right decisions, when to dig into the work and when to take a break. And I encourage you to prioritize taking the breaks so that you can continue to do great things in this world. Congratulations.
Hey. There are times when a thesis is more than just a thesis. When a thesis weighs in and provides immediate and contemporary analysis to the history that is playing out in front of our eyes. When it boldly endeavors to explain something that we as a society don't fully understand yet. And it's even more special when that thesis becomes the vehicle for the student themselves to explore, grapple, and come to terms with their own experience and understanding of that historical moment. To connect theory and practice, and to think meaningfully about how that theory and practice can be translated into action, activism, and social justice. It's a lot for just one thesis. That's what Rolla did. Her thesis attempted to understand why Georgia flipped blue in the 2020 election. To do so, she explored the role of the Black Voters Matter organization. It was a micro look at the on-the-ground tactics of one organization in Georgia. Yet it also allowed Rolla to put those tactics in the broader context of the history of voter suppression in the United States, and ultimately to show the prominent and undeniable role that history played in the tactics that helped drive black voter turnout in the 2020 election. It was such a creative and powerful explanation that helped many of us, myself included, to better understand the history that we're all living through. I feel lucky to have been part of the process and had the opportunity to watch your intellectual growth. Congratulations, Rolla.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back, Natalie. Natalie actually graduated in December, so a semester early. So she's here now just to have fun and enjoy all of the graduation activities. Natalie's thesis project really embodies the spirit of interdisciplinarity. She examined the sustainability, or maybe I should say lack of sustainability, in the fashion industry. And she also examined what consumers think about that issue. It was an opportunity for her to combine so many of her interests in environmental studies, in psychology, in marketing, and in fashion. Last year, not this spring, but last year, she presented the project at the Rawl Symposium. And this year, she was the poster child for Rawl. I don't know if you were aware of this, but last year, somebody took a great picture of you at Rawl, and it was used in a lot of the publicity for this year's Rawl Symposium, so poster child. Natalie not only is a scholar and a very creative person, but she's also an athlete, a successful athlete. She was a member of North Central's national championship, women's triathlon team. So shout out to her and to the rest of the team. Natalie, we are so excited to see where you're going to go with all of your interests and your talents. Congratulations on all of the accomplishments.
Good afternoon, everyone. It has been my honor and privilege to be Jacqueline Logan's thesis director over the past year. It was great getting to know Jacqueline. I was struck by her, most saliently, her diligent, hardworking nature. I generally hold my students in class to a very high standard, and so I thought to myself, like, well, she's my first honor student. And so honors program has a very prestige and aura on campus. So I said, I'm gonna hold her to a high standard, but rein it a little bit. And so sure enough, we would meet every week and I would give her readings, and some of them were peer-reviewed academic journal articles and economics journals, very high-rated journals. And I said, what am I doing? Step back here. I would give her just sometimes 3-4 days notice. And she would read them, and sometimes I would say, here's a third, but you don't have to read the third. And then we would meet, and I would just ask after our session, like, did you get a chance to read the third one? And she would say, I did, and I took notes. And I said, oh, wow, this is great, you know. So I was very proud of her for that, and just completely was humbling, and I learned a lot. So thanks a lot. I was very proud of you for doing that. Also at the Rawl Symposium, she was getting peppered with questions, and I was sitting in the back, biting my knuckles, like, oh, that's a tough question. And she would answer it, and I was very proud of her for doing that. So the highest praise that perhaps I could bestow upon, in addition to just words, is if I would, as a business professor, I would hire Jacqueline in a heartbeat. And that's high praise because that means I would trust her with my money, right? So congratulations, it's been a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you.
Adrian Martinez de la Cruz is already an award-winning journalist who has made a real mark here at North Central, both at WONC and on the student newspaper. We had as many people have noted, it's just been an unusual evolution of an honors thesis, from meeting through email and then virtually, and then getting to be in my office this year has been a real pleasure getting back to that. So I really very much appreciate that. Adrian and I were never in class together, so it is a particularly close and a relationship that we shared over the course of the year. And it's just been a great pleasure to work with you, especially as you dove into your research over the last months. Your project has its roots in visits to the Hawthorne Works Museum at Morton College while he was a student there. I have watched as Adrian has uncovered fascinating material. I'm the historian, he's the journalist. It's been interesting to watch that as it goes, but he's been working on the 1920s in the neighborhood around Cicero and the workers at the Western Electric Plant, diving in particularly to contemporary newspaper sources. He has shown also great skill as an interviewer, and I'm sure that something that many history students do not have. So it's been a particular pleasure to watch his abilities in skillfully weaving oral histories and oral interviews into his final project. Your thesis shows the other piece of this is your ability to tell stories, grounded in place, that I have tremendous admiration for. I feel sure that we will all be reading and or hearing from Adrian in the years ahead. Congratulations.
Jake, what a remarkable journey you've had. It's been such a joy to watch you on that path, to watch you push and challenge yourself in your courses and with your thesis. And as is the case for everybody in this room, it wasn't always easy, but you kept a positive attitude throughout. In fact, I genuinely think and tell people that Jake is one of the most positive and affable students I've ever met. If you've ever received an email from Jake, there's an absolute certainty that it will end with, have a great day, have a great evening, have a great weekend, with great being in all caps. Beyond your positivity, your persistence has also been present throughout. You make the effort to get to know your professors. You show for office hours, and you take the time to develop the relationships that are so vital to a meaningful college education. Those were skills that proved invaluable in the thesis process. It meant that when things got difficult, you kept a positive attitude and continued to work. And as the thesis process played out, eventually all those pieces fell into place. Jake was exploring public support for various reforms to the way that we elect our presidents. He was driven by a desire to find a model that made people feel like their vote matters. It was fun to watch that happen and to see it eventually all come together, to reach the stage where you now understood and could take control of that project. Congratulations on a job well done. The effort and tenacity you brought to this project will serve you so well in life.
Hi, I'm good. How are you? You sure? You're getting there. I know. Okay. Hello, everyone. Congrats to all the honors students, and just a special shout out to my honors 450. See you one more time. So I first met Trevor in a Zoom box, like a lot of us probably first met some of these students, in the fall of 2020 in our presidency class. But even then, with glitching technology and a less than ideal learning environment, he stood out as a thoughtful and driven learner. Fast forward to the fall of 2021, when we finally got to meet in person, and this incredible almost 2-year partnership was born. One partly based on our love for really bad TV, really good concerts, and really good manicures. At Convocation, I was able to recount the remarkable artifact that is Trevor's thesis when presenting him with the very prestigious Megan Sweeney Award. But in case some of you missed it, I'll give you a quick recap. Weaving together higher education, pedagogy, accessibility, and political science literatures, Trevor theorized that the 3 tenets of accessible document design would not be present in introductory course syllabi in political science. To test this, he created an original scorecard to evaluate 11 syllabi and interviewed 3 political science professors at a Midwestern comprehensive liberal arts institution. And interview them about their syllabus construction. And unsurprisingly, yet still very disappointingly, Trevor's results supported his theory. When he presented this at the Midwest Political Science Association meeting last month, it was recommended by every discussant that Trevor submit this work to the Journal of Political Science Education, which is an incredible feat, particularly for an undergraduate student. And I can say that just this week, we met to map out very small edits and begin the submission process. Yet after 2 years and so many meetings, Trevor is still somehow surprised at his oh-so-obvious to the rest of us successes. And this is so very Trevor. His drive for academic success is not for grades or for praise, but rather it is because he wants to learn as much as he can, to do as much as he can for those who don't often get what they need. And what better kind of person to succeed than that? So as Trevor prepares for his next chapter, there is no doubt there are many successes to come, and in time, they won't surprise you when they do. Congratulations.
I am delighted to present this honors cord to Iman Musanuddin. Iman is graduating with majors in psychology and neuroscience with a minor in professional Spanish. In addition to her involvement with the honors program, she has worked with the Office of Engaged Learning and completed a semester study abroad in Milan. Iman completed her thesis entitled An Autoethnography, Exploring the Relation Between Fashion, Self-Exploration, and Perceived Power in Milan. Iman is bold in her scholarship and her fashion. Her interest in fashion psychology led her to Milan, the fashion capital. And during her time there, she experienced Fashion Week, volunteered at events, and soaked up everything that Milan was ready to teach her. And it did teach her a lot. Milan taught her about power structures and the ways that her own sense of self are expressed through her fashion choices. Some people may think that telling your own story is easy, but I would argue that it's potentially one of the more challenging methodologies because it takes a willingness to be vulnerable and to speak your truth. Iman, I have enjoyed all of our work together, from the conversations that you had while you were in Milan to all the weeks of conversations in our office about fashion, power, and self. I have to admit, most weeks you made me rethink my own fashion choices. Thanks. But each week I saw that your work grew, and I saw that you grew through this work. I know that you're going to continue to be bold in your next steps and to see what this world holds for you. Congratulations. I am again honored to present this cord now to Deja Phillips. Deja is graduating with a degree in psychology. During her time at North Central, Deja has served as a resident assistant, multicultural peer educator, member of Voices of Praise, co-president of the Black Student Association. All of this led to her being recognized with the Leadership Award of Outstanding Service to Student Life at our recent honors convocation, an exceptionally well-deserved honor. In addition to her extraordinary work on campus, Deja also completed a study abroad program in England last fall. Deja completed her thesis entitled From Drapetomia to Degrees, Learning Representation Through the Lens of Black Students and School Faculty Members. She started framing this study during her time abroad and then completed an impressive amount of work this semester to do focus groups with students and interviews with faculty members. She also included components of visual ethnography by representing images of Black students on our campus to remind us all that she's talking about the experiences of people in our community. This type of research comes with great emotional labor. This type of research is powerful, powerful advocacy. Deja moved through this process with tremendous power and grace. Deja, it's been such a pleasure to work with you and to learn from you throughout this research. You've made such a difference on our campus. Your work gives voice to Black students and reminds us of the work that we all need to continue to do. I know that you will continue to change the world, and I wish you all the best.
I have to find the right page. Okay, Sophie's director is under the weather today, so I will be courting Sophie. She's very sad that she can't be here with you. Sophie designed a website of comprehensive sexual education. It is honest and detailed and an important contribution to educating high school and college kids on sex education. She presented the material to I'm speaking on behalf of her director, Gender and Sexuality Studies 100 course, and I was impressed with how comfortable she was discussing the material, which added to the effectiveness of the website. I have had Sophie in 3 courses, and it's been a delight to watch her grow intellectually and to find the strength of her voice. It's been a delight working with her on this honors project. I learned new material from her comprehensive website, and I plan to share it as a resource with my GSST classes going forward. Congratulations, Sophie.
Hello again. Molly has a very broad knowledge of many different topics. She can go from looking at the financial statements of an energy company and find the unethical behavior exhibited there, makes her really, really mad, to looking at how different public policies impact equity across the United States. She has the ability to examine the fine details of an issue and then also to see how it fits within the broader context of society. Molly's honors thesis, she recognized that if we're going to really if we're really going to address climate disruption, the only way we're really going to do it is through a carbon tax. So she looked at the economic, environmental, and social justice issues associated with it. She took an extremely difficult to explain it in a clear, concise manner. Pretty good for an accountant. We are seeing a theme here. I've seen quite a few here. Molly is one of many students, all of the students in here, who are trying to make the world a little better place, addressing social justice issues. We're truly lucky to have these great students. Maybe there is a little hope for the world after all. So great job on your honors theses. As with everything else, Molly, congratulations.
I get to cord Jessica as well. Dr. Caroline St. Clair asked that I share the following on her behalf. Jessica was a joy to work with. I always looked forward to our meetings because we had great conversations about her ideas. Jessica was a hard worker who was always prepared for our meetings and showed an eagerness for working on her thesis topic. She was able to find a way to combine her technical skills and her love of the Chinese language through her thesis work on evaluating Chinese language translation apps using a heuristic approach. Her work's results will be a valuable tool for educators and students choosing the best Chinese language translation app. I'm now going to switch from Dr. St. Clair's voice to my own for a second. In the days before the pandemic, we hosted regular coffee and conversation events in Ward Hall on Thursday mornings. Sometimes we had a big group in Ward Hall, but often it was just a small group of us. And you made our little community better, Jessica, because you just have a really warm and engaging way that makes other people feel included in the conversation. And so I want to thank you for your commitment to the honors program and wish you all the best. Thanks.
So as you can tell, I'm not Dr. Azerbad. She was not able to be here today, but Dr. Azerbad sent me what she would want to say should she have been able to be here. So in Dr. Azerbad's voice, determined, hardworking, empathetic, advocate. These are just some of the words that come to mind when I think of Taylor. Taylor has distinguished herself as an outstanding student and campus leader over the past 4 years. She has worked as a resident assistant, a tutor for biology, chemistry, and the Writing Center, and an ambassador in Cardinal First, which is our first-generation college student program here on campus. On top of being a highly involved student, Taylor has spent many hours off campus working while she juggles her academics and leadership roles. I honestly don't know how she manages to do all of it successfully, but she has more grit than anyone I know. Taylor is also a passionate advocate for marginalized groups and those who may not be able to advocate for themselves. For her honors thesis, Taylor was interested in assessing men's and women's reactions to the overturning of Roe versus Wade. She created a survey to assess college students' feelings and perceptions of safety in response to the ruling. Her hypotheses were confirmed. Women and those who were pro-choice were were more likely to be experiencing distress in response to the ruling. Her project was unique because no studies to date have explored this issue, and so her research is blazing the trail. In the fall, Taylor will be attending graduate school to obtain her Master of Social Work degree at the University of St. Francis, where I have no doubt she will continue to positively impact countless lives. Taylor, I am so proud of you and all of your accomplishments. You have worked so very hard, and I am grateful for the opportunity to have worked with you. It was truly a gift. Congratulations. Congratulations. So very well. Before turning things over to the provost, a quick announcement. At the conclusion of the ceremony, we will ask that students exit the theater first and head directly upstairs to the balcony, so sort of right up there, where you will join the provost for our champagne toast. I would now like to thank our administration, specifically Provost Goke Periola, for his wonderful support of the College Scholars Program, and ask him to offer some concluding remarks. Provost GP.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Associate Provost Christine Garrity, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words here today. College scholars, you have set the bar very high for academic excellence, and you have contributed significantly to this campus community. You have studied abroad, presented at academic conferences, and participated in North Central College's research program. Many of you have performed on North Central stages, while others have excelled on the athletic fields. You have served as resident assistants, orientation staff leaders, first-year mentors, and on executive boards of student organizations. You have had a very strong presence and impact on this campus. Thank you. I encourage you to remain connected with us on your life's journey because you will always be a member of the North Central Cardinal community. Tell us about your successes and reach out when you need advice. Come back to campus for reunions, athletics, and fine arts events, not only to reconnect with your friends and faculty, but to inspire others by your very example. Enjoy every moment of this celebratory weekend, but remember to express gratitude to your family members, many of whom are here today, your friends and mentors who have supported, inspired, and challenged you along the way to this milestone. And I know personally how challenging your faculty in particular have been. As the father of one of today's honorees, Morolake Goke Pariola, and how many times she's groaned about all the work, and I remember her running to my office to find me. Actually, I was in a meeting, but with a do not disturb sign. But she knocked, and I came out and I said, "Did you not see the sign there?" She said, "Yes, but I turned in my honors thesis today." So I know, and she was very, very excited. As college scholars, you have gone above and beyond in your academic performance. It's been a real great honor to have you here, and you have left a mark on our community in countless ways. So congratulations and good luck on the next stage of your journey.